for all y'all, being able to go through the pregame ceremony and the senior night, having your family with you. What were those emotions like, knowing how much you've put into this program?
I was just so happy. I was just saying this to my teammates. I'm so blessed and just thankful to have them be my teammates and just the impact that they had on my lives and the impact that I had on theirs.
Yeah, I'll second that. I was just so grateful to have been here for 4 years. A lot of people can't say they were at one school for 4 years. So I just love the bonds I made with the coaches, with my team, and having my parents there was really special. So yeah.
For me, this was my third senior day, and it never gets old. It's just always amazing.
You guys made the decision to wear the pink jerseys tonight. Can you walk us through what those conversations looked like? Was it a senior thing you guys wanted to do?
Oh yes, yeah, it's my favorite color.
We look good in pink.
For all of you, but especially for Maggie, who sort of just came into this conference, what has it meant to you to play Big Ten basketball specifically?
For me, it's meant the world to me. I think I've only had maybe 2 Big Ten offers when I came into the league. My mom played the Big Ten. My dad played very high D1 basketball. So it's always just made me want to work harder.
Yeah, I'll second that. I say that the Big Ten is probably one of the best conferences, as we see by all the schools that are trying to join it. So just having this opportunity has been a blessing. And also my brother plays at Minnesota football, but I've had the opportunity to see him at a lot of our conference games. I get to see him when he comes here. So that's been really special to have this bond and play at a high level and also see my family.
Yeah, playing in the Big Ten is a very unique experience. I came from a mid-major school, and just all of the not just the talent and coaching level at the Big Ten, but everything that comes along with that, all of the support and everything you get with being a Power 5 school is a really amazing experience.
This is for Paige and Jasmine, but you guys have been with the program for 4 years, and what has been like to see all the highs and the lows of what this program has gone through, from not so great losses like this to making the tournament back in 2021?
It's been a learning experience. I think we came in as freshmen to a team that had a lot of success. They've been playing together for 4 years. And I will say that it made us prepared for being seniors, for being leaders. Obviously, we're not going to always get the outcome that we want. But I think that relationships that we built and being leaders on a team, having this experience has been really special.
Just for all of you, talked a lot about the bond, the family, what you learned from coaches. What has Coach McKeown taught you, you think, that you'll carry with you for your lives in the future?
I'm gonna quote Coach McKeown right now. Next play. Don't worry about anything that just happened. Worry about what's gonna happen in the future, what you're gonna do next to counteract what just happened.
And I think just always be grateful for what you have, recognize in it.
Yeah, we like hardworking. He always emphasizes pride, and regardless if it's in sports, in life, in school, you're a representation of the Northwestern and of yourself, and it's always important to keep that in mind.
There were some clear improvements from the last time you guys played Indiana, and facing a team with 2 top scorers like Sarah Scalia and Mackenzie Holmes. What did you guys look at in film or in practice that you kind of adapted and took into this game?
You got it.
I think that we really focus on post defense. Obviously, Mackenzie Holmes is a great scorer, but I think putting different players on her, throwing different looks at her, makes it harder for her to score. As well as we changed our defense. I think we played 3 or 4 different defenses out there, and just making sure we're switching things up so they don't know what we're running, or they don't know what to run against us, and also giving us different looks to either rebound better or guard different players better. Just gives us a better edge, I think.
For Paige or Jasmine, in your 4 years here, has there been a moment that has really stuck out to you as the high point of your time here at Northwestern?
I don't know if I can give you one moment, but as a collective, I'm going to say it again, I'm just so blessed to have been here. I know a lot of people have terrible experiences at other schools, and I'm just so grateful that I just had this coaching staff and these teammates that just made my senior year and all my years here pretty darn good.
As you guys head to Rutgers looking to snap this losing streak, how much pressure would you say you're putting on yourselves as senior leaders to keep up the morale and try to right the ship at the end of the season?
I mean, I think it's been all season. Like, we've been trying to do our best to lead in whatever way that is, through words or through example. I think now we just have to continue to do what we've been doing and kind of ask the juniors who are going to be in our place next year to start stepping up a little bit more, being a little bit more vocal, taking a little bit more pride, because we're leaving next year. It's going to be their team. We've done what we can for this season, so we got to help prepare for next season.
Yep, we want to go out with a bang.
Jazz and Paige have been with me a long time, going back to recruiting them in high school and having them come on visits, battling other schools to get them to come here. And, you know, they walked in their freshman year, and they're very humble, but their freshman year, we were shut down. You know, they were, and then they were part of, you know, the NCAA tournament as freshmen with no fans. It's crazy, right? That's some of the adversity that they faced as athletes. And we went to San Antonio and it beat Central Florida, had a 20-point lead on Louisville, played great. We were quarantined in San Antonio, 64 teams. So, you know, that was their first year of college basketball. And, you know, the next year, they were part of a team that, again, we had 5 or 6, 8 or 9 games canceled. We were an NCAA tournament team again. Got stuck on the bubble, didn't make it, which I'll go to my grave saying we should have been in. But, you know, when they were part of teams that beat Iowa on the road, that beat Michigan when they're 4th in the country, that competed with the best of the best. And they played, and they brought that every day. So really proud of them. You can imagine when Maggie, who had this incredible career at Boston University, her recruitment, you know, lasted 12 minutes and 1 phone call. So it shows you sometimes the recruiting business is crazy. But as a grad transfer, she knew what she wanted and what she's brought to the table. You know, just really proud of her. So that part, you know, I feel very fortunate to have coached a lot of great players over the years here, and you know, first-class people, and you know, really lucky to have those 3 and to be around them every day. You know, we argue and we fight too, but you know, they're just special people. So also, you know, I know we've had it's our last home game this year at Welsh-Ryan. You know, I looked at. And again, I see tonight 2,800 people. You know, when we played Iowa, obviously that was a unique, you know, for those guys, for our whole team. I've coached in a bunch of sellout games, but that one was different. And what made me proud was everybody that had an opportunity in that Iowa game. They came back that Sunday and we beat Wisconsin by 25, and the crowd made the difference in the game. So, you know, our fans this year have been great. It's the most season tickets we've ever sold, and we've had top 10 teams and, you know, great teams for a long time. So I feel like we're in a really good place as a program, and to have that kind of fan base right now and support for our players is really good. The game itself, you know, Indiana is. You know, one of the top, in my opinion, you know, one of the top, you know, 8, 9 teams in college basketball. They're experienced, and they just beat Iowa the other night. And they have games when they're just hard to guard, and that's what happened tonight. We did a great job in the first half and the fourth quarter, but in between, you know, we just defensively we broke down, and they make you pay. And they're experienced, they're old. They've been playing together a long time, and you know, we've had these great games when Paige and Jazz with Indiana. You know, we've beaten them down there, beaten them here. They've gotten us. So, you know, I love how we competed tonight. I don't like the outcome. Not about, you know, but if there is a silver lining, again, the crowd, the atmosphere, the as hard as we competed, you know, Indiana's a great team. Go from there.
What did you like out of tonight, the play? What did you take out of it in the positive?
Yeah, I thought we moved the ball well when we got out in transition. We just didn't finish, and you said, what did we do well? But we were able to get really good shots, I thought, against a team that, I think defensively is one of the better Big Ten teams at times. So I thought our shot selection was better. We just got to finish.
Me. Obviously, Mel had a huge night, 24 points. Caroline Lau also 7 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. What do you see from this duo taking on a bigger role leading the team, especially in transition next year?
Yeah, we're young. I mean, we started it Casey Harder's a freshman. She started. Her and Caroline have started, freshman, sophomore backcourt most of the year. Mel, didn't play last year in the Big Ten, so this is a new. She's, more like a sophomore from that standpoint than a junior, and I think all these games have given them just great experience, and I think it's going to pay off next year, as you mentioned, and hopefully we can make a run, in the Big Ten tournament, because we're playing hard together. We practice hard, and they're the things that you watch as a coach, as when things aren't always going the way you had planned. But I appreciate that, and I think they're both going to take a lot out of this year.
Coach, you mentioned the crowd, but the student sections, they're filled with little kids. They're not filled with college students. What's your message to the student body who's missing out on you guys play?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I've been doing this a long time. I would tell you, whether you're at Connecticut or, I coached against Pat Summit at Tennessee a lot, and they have the same issues. Connecticut's packed, but their student, it's more, the local fan base, and it's a women's basketball issue nationwide, not just here. And we're in a league with, as you guys know, the student enrollment at the schools in our league, you're talking about 50,000 students. So you would think they could get 1,000 to come to the game. We're at a school with, a lot smaller, and so I think that's a problem. There's a bigger problem nationwide. I do think we're seeing this renaissance of women's basketball nationwide, and I think that will help too. I think we saw that at some of our games, and again, hopefully, it's something we can get our own student body to be a lot more active next year. I appreciate the question because I've seen everything. But it's funny, too, when you go to Tennessee, and they're ranked #1, and it's sold out, and there's no students. Where I played UConn in the NCAA tournament on a Sunday, and it's sold out, and it's packed, and, same, so it's a bigger issue. It's a problem, though.
Indiana is one of a few phenomenal basketball teams you played this year, and next year the Big Ten is going to be adding at least 2 more powerhouses in USC and UCLA, adding that in with the influence of NIL money and the transfer portal. How hard do you think the changing landscape of college basketball is making it for a school like Northwestern, which, as you mentioned, is a lot smaller than its competitors, to compete at the level you want to?
Yeah, I feel like the 2 schools that you didn't mention have been incredibly dominant in women's basketball too, and just not this year. Oregon and Washington. Oregon's in the Final Four, ranked as high as 1-2 in the country. When you play there, it's packed. Washington is a great tradition in women's basketball. So besides USC and UCLA, all 4 of those schools really care about our sport and have a big following. The NIL thing is I'm all for it as far as players. If they have opportunities, the impact it's having on our sport, we see it. And, how would that affect Northwestern? I think, time will tell. And I think we have to be engaged, but, we're also, as you guys all know, it's $80-some thousand to go to school here. So that used to help separate us in recruiting. It was the great school, the academic, the degree from here, and I think sometimes now, NILs and collectives are out in front of some of the recruiting. So we just have to keep bringing in the tough, hard-nosed kids, the Veronica Burtons, who, Maggie Lyons, Nia Coffees, these are pros, they were first-round picks in Nia and Veronica's. And they weren't, they were highly recruited, but, we got to get those guys, too. We got to get, and we have a top 20 class coming in. So I think, but the 4 schools coming in are, they're serious about our sport. So it'll be an interesting challenge, too, the way it schedules, which we don't know. Good question.
Coach, you just talked about recruiting. You're bringing a top 20 class. You have 3 top 60 recruits on your roster. How do you turn recruiting and these stars and these rankings into talent on the court and turn players into team players and able to win as a cohesive unit? Yeah,
I think what we've done, and we've been really successful at it. We're in a little, for the first time since going back to when I took the job, we had obviously, it was a rebuilding situation when I took the job in 2008, and this is the first time really we've had a rebuild since then, and we've been able to do it with player development, with the experience of what we're seeing these younger players getting. So I think that's all going to pay off. You got to stay healthy. We got a great player that's sitting out right now, and Lauren Trumpy, who's 6'5", that if we can keep her healthy, we'll have a big impact on our team next year. And her basketball IQ is off the chart, and so you got to get lucky a little bit as far as staying healthy. And then I still think you can build through player development. But if you can add a grad transfer that's at the level of, what we see in our league, it's going to help. Because, our league right now is old, and, we're young. Okay. I appreciate it. Thanks for following us all year, and hopefully we can do some damage next week. Thanks.
Thanks for your patience all year, Coach.
Yeah.